Hey guys, today we're going to be working with some clocks, and I know that you did clocks in second grade, but they'll probably be adding a few things that maybe you did or didn't do in second grade. Okay, so we're going to be talking about digital clocks, and then we're going to be talking about writing the time in words. Okay, we'll do some together, and then you'll do a couple in the different sections alone. So we're going to start on this page, then we're going to go to 4-7 in our homework and remembering book. All right, so just to review before we start that we have the minute hand and the hour hand. Okay, the hour hand is the shorter one. Hand is the longer one. That part you'll probably remember, right? Okay, so let's look at our first purple clock. We start with our hour hand. It's in between, it's right here. It's in between the 9 and 10. It's not quite to 10, so we know it's 9. Okay, so I know that my hour hand is going to be 9. So I'm going to put a 9 right here on my digital clock. This little rectangle one is our digital clock. Just like at your house, you have a clock on your microwave that you might look at. Now we're going to do the minutes. Just to review again that when you count around, you count by 5. So I'm going to start up at 12 and I'm going to say 5, 10, 15. Now I need to stop because it's on a minute. So I know it's at least 15 and then I need to count ahead. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I can see that it's on 17 because I go 16, 17. So my final time on my clock is 9:17. So you got to look carefully because they're tiny in there. Now you have some lines underneath. This is where we're going to write how we say the time. Okay, look at the digital clock. If you looked at that clock and your mom said, "What time is it?" What would you say? There's a couple of different ways that you could do this. Right? I could say that it is 9:17, and I can write that on the lines. Another way that I could do that is I could say that it is 17 minutes after 9. So in the next couple of lessons, you can use numbers there. You don't have to use words on those because it gets kind of long. So sometimes they're going to have us write it two ways. Okay, they're going to have us do the minutes after or minutes before. So for today, just follow along with me, and then we're going to be doing it a little different on each one, depending on what the time is. Okay, so we have 17 minutes after 9. Let's look at number 33, the orange clock. First thing I do is I look for my hour hand. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. It's in between the 4 and the 5. So I know it's not 5. Okay, so I know that my hour hand is going to be 4. Now is when I count my minutes. If you notice on this one, the hour hand and the minute hand are almost on top of each other, aren't they? So we'll start up here and we'll start counting. 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, I don't want to go to 25 because that's too far. So now I need to zoom in and look, and I can see that it's 21, 22. So the time on the clock is 4:22. Okay. Now, another way that you could write it, I could say, like I did on the first one, I could say 22 minutes after 4. But I'm going to show you another way now on the second one. So this one, we're going to just say it like we're reading it. So we can say the time on the clock is 4:22. And we're just writing it out in words. The first one we used some numbers and that was okay. But 4:22. So you're writing it like you say it. All right, let's look at number 34. Start with your hour hand always. It's in between the 8 and the 9, which means it's not quite 9, so it's 8. All right. Then I do my count bys. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, I have to stop there, don't I? Because I can't go to the 7 because it's the minute. We're going to look at the minute hand now and go 31, 32. So the time on the clock is 8:32. Okay. So you could either write it like we did on the first one. I could say that it's 32 minutes after 8. Let's do that on this one, guys, just so we get to practice that one. 32 minutes. You can abbreviate minutes after 8. Okay. It's not too bad so far, right, guys? Okay. Now, what I would like is I would like you guys to do these 3 clocks on your own, okay? You've got this. Look at your hour hand first, then your minute hand. I know you can do it. And when you go to doing the writing underneath, okay, I'm going to give you some clues. You're going to say, I'm going to give you some clues on how to do the writing. So you're going to put the minutes on that line, and it's so many minutes after, and then you're going to fill in the other number. Okay, I'm not going to do that for you, but I'm showing you how to do the writing. Okay, on the next one, it's going to be blank minutes after, and then another number, depending on what time you have on your clock. Okay, on the last one, we're going to be able to do it like we did for this guy right here. Okay, so you're just going to say the time. Okay, whatever time it is, you're going to say the time, write it on the line. Okay, that one's a little bit easier. All right, now, when I go down to the digital clocks, this might be kind of what you're more familiar with. These are a little bit easier. Okay, they're going to give you the time in words, and you write it on the clock. So we'll only do one of these together because they're pretty easy. So if the words say 10:14, I write 10:14. Okay? You'll be good at those. All right, and then meet me on, when you are ready, meet me on the front of 4-7. All right, here we are on the front of 4-7. And let's read our directions. Write the time on the digital clock, just like what you just did on the other page at the bottom. Then write how to say the time. So we're going to do one together in each section so that you understand how to do it, okay? Let's look at number 1. I'm going to look at my hour hand. It's on the 3. I'm going to look at my minute hand, and I'm going to count 5, 10, 15. It's right on the 3, so 3:15. Then down here, keep in mind there isn't a ton of room on the lines. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say that just write small. So 3, you're writing it how you say it. And they're not putting a dash in between the words, so just do your best. Just like you say it is how you write it, okay? So you'll finish those in that section. And then let's look down to number 5. The directions here are actually drawing the hands on the analog clock, not the digital. And then we write the time on the digital. So let's look at the time that they want us to write. You kind of have to zoom in here because it's a little smaller. So our time is 28 minutes after 4. So I know that my minute hand is going to be 28 minutes. And then I have my hour hand. It's after 4, but it's not quite 5, is it? So I'm going to want to do my hour hand in between the 4 and the 5. So you're going to draw it shorter You just do the best that you can, guys. I'm going to draw it a little bit shorter, just like that. You got this. And then remember our minutes was 28. So I'm going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And then I'm going to count 26, 27, 28. And then I'm going to make my longer hand. Just do the best you can because it is so tiny. Make it to go to 28. So 3 spots after the 5. All right, so draw your hands on the clock, and then your last step on that is to write the digital time. So if it's 28 minutes after 4, it's 4:28. Okay? You're writing it just how you say it on the digital clock. All right, my next one is 6:45. Okay, so I know that my minute hand, I'm going to need to count all the way around, aren't I? Keep counting. I'm not going to finish, but you'll count all the way around for your minute hand. For your hour hand, it's not quite 7, so it's going to be in between the 6 and the 7. Okay, for your shorter one. I'll put that one in, and I'm going to let you guys do the minute hand. The minute hand should be on the 45. And then how do I say 6:45 on my digital clock? Just like I just said it, 6:45, okay? And then the last section, okay, is just writing. They're going to give you the time on the clock, and you're going to write it digitally. Okay, let's do one of those together. Okay, I'm looking at my hour hand. It's in between the 2 and the 3, so it's not quite to 3, so I know it's 2, and then I'm going to do my count bys, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 36, 37. So I know my minutes are 2:37. And then just like we did up above, okay, you're going to write that in words. 2:30. And they are doing a dash in between there. 2:37. Just like you say it is how you write it. Okay, just spell the best you can. Like if you're not sure how to spell 30, just do the best you can, and Mrs. Hagen will know what you mean. Okay, I am going to say that when you get to number 9, it's that kind where you're going to have blank and then minutes after blank. Okay, so you're going to decide what numbers go in the lines once you figure out the time on the clock. I'm looking at the clock, and the hour hand isn't quite to the 11 yet. So what might the hour hand be? Okay. All right. And then we are going to stop right there for today, guys. So thanks for hanging in there for the clocks. Have a super day.